Hello, this is Nick Biondo again with part 3 of a demonstration of using the Nikon CLS creative lighting system to fire an SB800 external flash with the built-in flash of my Nikon D300. There's one very important issue I want to show you before we begin the actual shooting. And you must remember that the body has its own flash compensation to control the built-in flash. Alright, this must be set at 0 value. Okay, so the way you get that is you have your flash open, and on this side of the body you'll see the flash symbol. When you hold this here and look at your top LCD, which I'm doing now, you will see the indication is 0. Okay, and you can change that with the roll in the front under the shutter. You see, now right now I made it minus 1.3. so if you have that set at any number, that will control your off-camera flash. So you must make sure that this is 0. Okay, that's the important one. Now we're back in live view mode, and we do have our ever-present little model here. It came from Barbados, and he's quite a friendly guy, I guess. But I like him because there's a lot of shadows and contours on the face that we can photograph. So what we're going to do is we're going to put him back here. Put my camera back where it belongs. Now this is live view, so what you're looking at here is the actual picture that I'm going to be taking. Okay, now in addition to that, of course, we have our SB800 here. Okay, now there are many ways of positioning your light. However, as an elementary lesson, we're going to show you just a rudimentary fundamental concept of lighting. Okay, if you could take a look at this paper here. Okay, what we're going to do is, if we have the camera here and your subject here, we want the off-camera flash at a 45-degree angle to the line between the camera and the subject. And a 45-degree angle is nothing more than a line drawn on a square such as this. Okay, so we have the subject at this point and your camera over here, and the off-camera flash will be at a 45-degree angle. The equal distance between the subject and your camera will be between the subject and your SB800. So this distance will equal this distance. Right? I hope you can make that out. And basically it's like a clock moving along. Right? So put your SB800 at 45-degree angle, either left or right of your subject. Okay. Now, one thing about changing from left to right of the subject is I have to show you a detail about the SB800 that we mentioned before, and that is the window, the infrared window with which the light from the built-in flash controls the SB800. If you are on the left side of your subject and your camera is here, okay, and your camera is here, there's no problem of having the flash enter the window on the SB800. Alright? But if you decide to put your camera on the right side of the camera, Carol, move your arm, please. Move your arm. That's me. On the right side of the camera, you will see that the window is on this side of the SB800, not between the flash and the camera. So what you do simply is you take your SB800 and turn the head and reverse it, and now you have the window facing your built-in flash. So always remember that the off-camera flash has to be forward of your camera, so the flash can communicate with the unit through this window. There is one exception. If you have white walls or walls that will bounce signals, you don't necessarily have to be in front of the camera. But you can take some test shots to make sure they are communicating with each other. And if they're not, just make sure your units are in front of the camera. Your manual for the SB800 shows you the angles required. Okay? And we'll finish this up in one moment. So I'm going to shoot this from the right side here. As you can see, I have the subject over here. This is the whole subject. I have my SB800 at 45-degree angle, and I have my flash on camera ready to fire, and the distance between the subject and the camera is going to be the same distance between the subject and the SB800. Okay? Now we're going to fire, and I'm going to show you how this will look. I'm going to put my finger on here, and this is our subject that we got, and here's your man. Okay. And that's the subject. Now we'll do it once more, but I'm going to switch this SB800 to this side. But for me to do that, I'm going to turn the head around so I get the window pointing this side. All right? And I'm going to have it on a 45-degree angle from the subject, an equal distance from the subject to the camera. Actually, it's the subject to the flash on the camera, and the subject to the SB800. And we're going to fire. Right now, we'll get this back up. And let me just get a little closer here, so you'll be able to see. Here's the image that we're shooting. I'm going to push it down, and the lighting went off, and look at what we got. That's our subject right here, and